Hello, and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda: The Oracle of Seasons. That's still one hell of a name without the and ages. We're just gonna hop into the first dungeon. Can't fit through door. Okay, let's do this for real. Level 1, the Gnarled Root Dungeon. Before we go through the dungeon, I'm going to explain the sidebar, real quick. It's fairly simple, so, it shouldn't take too long. Of course, in the top left, is the name of the dungeon, the level. Right below that, that left square will show us the map. Once we get the map, to the right of that, the compass. Below the map, on the left middle, bottom middle one, if you would, will appear once we get the item from the temple. Temple from the item? I don't remember. God damn it, Josh. But right next to that is the boss key, big key, whatever you want to call it, and below that will appear every time we get keys, and those eyes are following us. Looking at the screen, that's creepy. And on the right side, you'll notice a rogue box. Once we get the map, I've created smaller little maps, based off of the game's maps. So you guys can have a little map of the dungeon. Hopefully that'll be convenient. You guys can understand like what the little icons mean, because I made them based off of the icons in the game. So hopefully it's not too far of a stretch of what they are. If you guys are confused, just ask and I'll answer you guys. And of course I didn't mention it in the previous episode, but in the bottom left corner, bottom left, that's where they are. There's buttons that will take you to the previous video, playlist, and the next video. So hopefully that's convenient. And now that we're done doing that, let's just go into the dungeon. There's one thing that I'm gonna I'll probably bring up: a fairy. There are fairies in the game. You just can't catch them in bottles. One thing that you'll probably see throughout the God, I just tried to restart myself because I cut myself off. I'll talk about it throughout the course of the game. But this game was actually when it was first in development, it was going to be a remake of the NES Zelda, and you'll notice a bunch of aspects of the game that are like NES Zelda. Like, if you notice how you get to the dungeon, it's kind of off of on a bridge that you go to the left, and then there's like a tree dungeon that's supposedly supposed to be like the first dungeon. This is supported by a few things that we'll see in this dungeon that I'll talk about later. And you come in here, and there's the old men who just give you... They don't really have any purpose other than to give you hints, just like in the NES Zelda. So there's aspects of NES Zelda that you'll see throughout the game, because it was originally supposed to be a remake, but then they scrapped the idea and decided to make a really cool game instead. Not that the original Zelda isn't cool, but come on, we don't always need remakes of everything. Although I appreciate them sometimes, and I would really appreciate a remake of Majora's Mask on the 3DS. It'd be cool. Especially turning console games into portable games, that's really neat. But yeah, I'll try not to... I'll bring it up whenever there's aspects, but I'm not gonna, hammer it for what it was. Although I do like what Seasons became. Seasons is one of my favorite games, although I just like Zelda games in general, so I guess that tells you a lot about me. I love Seasons and Ages. They're such good games. I don't know, I hope you guys grow to love them too if you've never played them. Maybe go out of your way and play them along with me. Or, well, you guys would probably get ahead of me because, the games are easy to play, but whenever you have to sit down and actually record them and talk, it takes a bit longer to get through. Not like the game takes longer to get through, but, over a course of time. This first dungeon's really easy. Honestly, I don't really remember the not the position, hey, just give it back, give me our keys, I'm sorry. That's not what I wanted. Make sure you hit that lever, by the way. You need to hit the lever if you're going to continue on with the dungeon. I don't remember the exact path that you should take to get through the dungeon, but it's a fairly easy dungeon, so it should be kind of obvious where to go. Might get turned around a few times, but, for the most part, it's easy. Ooh, puzzle noise. We're not gonna bother with it, though, because I want this chest. I'm a man, and I like chests. I'm so clever. The first dungeon's a bit odd, because, you actually get 2 items in this dungeon, as opposed to the normal one. If you count the bombs. I count the bombs, honestly, so that's why they appeared. But there's gonna be another one. And oh, the spinner that chases us. I don't know what if that thing's like I don't think it's a blade trap, because there's other blade traps in the game. We'll be seeing them soon because we're about to bump into them. Not like actually bumping into them, but they'll be like in this next room, I think, if this is the area I think it is. Which I'm hoping it is, so I don't look like a fool. But I don't know what that thing is. I've always called it the spinner. Yeah, here we go. See, blade traps. Like, I don't think it's a spike trap because it doesn't have spikes on it. In fact, the things that it have on it look like blades. But I wouldn't call these spike traps because those are totally blades. Let's scare it and then let's go. You'll notice that there's different colors of the traps. I think it has to do with how fast they go and how far they can reach. Like the blue one only goes like half the room, while the green one is able to go across the entire room. That was a convenient fairy. And this orange one goes the entire room and is really fast. And here is our first mini-boss! Growl! You cannot pass! We have red Gandalf and blue Gandalf. I honestly can never remember these guys' names, but they're a very pathetic mini-boss. Look, I'm not even going to hit the blue one, but you can kill them because they have shared health. And their only attack is to throw that one boomerang back and forth. Every time you beat a mini-boss, you get a fairy and one of these little sun warps. I at least call it a sun warp because it looks like a sun, and if you step into it, it'll warp you back to a previous room in the dungeon. Which is convenient if you need to get out, little, midpoint, which is nice because it's a portable game. You might have to save and turn it off. Batteries run dead, stuff like that. But I'll show you guys how it works. We're just gonna come in here to get the item temple thing, seed satchel, yay! Seeds are, one of the many aspects in this game that are, only in the Oracle games, not the Seasons games. That'd be ridiculous. Excuse me. Sometimes the block pushing in this game, though, can be really finicky because it wants you to get it head on. And I did this weird, fisting movement. I'm not gonna think about it. See, it just takes us back to this room that we were in. Normally it'll take you back to, the first room of the dungeon. But I guess they knew it would be more convenient to take us here. Hey! What's the difference between a blue boomerang? These guys have blue boomerangs, but the mini-boss had, a normal boomerang. Which always makes me think that you're gonna get the boomerang in this dungeon, but you don't. Because you get the seeds, and I accidentally dropped one. Doesn't matter, we have 20, and we'll be able to get more later, I think. So I know where the I remember where the expansion is, for, seeds is and ages. I can remember that off the top of my head, but I do not remember where you get them in, seasons. Oh well. We're going to be 100%ing this game, to the fullest, what we can do. Because there's certain things that we can't do, because like I mentioned in the, little opening bit of the first episode, there's, the linked game aspect, which means there's certain things that you can only get in the linked game. And oh my god, wall masters, even though they come out of the floor, because they're supposed to be more like the, the wall masters in original Zelda games. Of course, it's a 2D game, it'd be a bit awkward if they fell from the ceiling. Does Link to the Past do that? I think Link to the Past might do that, where they fall from the ceiling. So it can be done, but I guess they just wanted them to be like the original wall master guys. Even though they're more like floor masters, and I took a wrong turn. Whoops. Hey, wait, are we already at the end of the dungeon? I think we are. Here's the map. Yeah, we are. Oh, one of the aspects I wanted to mention, if you take a look at the map, it's shaped like an eagle, and the first level of, NES Zelda is also shaped like an eagle, so that's one of the many aspects, that you'll notice. I think items as well, but not much further. We'll talk about— oh, no, don't run! I hate whenever they appear and they're, right on you. I don't know why I'm getting that. One thing that's always, I'll talk about that later, because we have a dungeon boss to fight! And here's another aspect of NES Zelda, Aquamentus, the first dungeon boss. Same first dungeon boss from, NES Zelda. Oh my god, if I die to him, I'm gonna be really sad. I just died to the first— oh my god. Which actually ruins the next thing I wanted to talk about. I was gonna say I was gonna try to go through the game without dying. But of course I had to be absolutely pathetic against that boss. Because I've gone through Seasons and Ages without dying before. It's a bit easier not to die once you get past the first dungeon and you have 4 hearts, because then you have a bit more leeway of getting attacked. Oh darn. I would like to do a 3-heart run, you know, series of a Zelda game eventually, but it's just too much fun collecting stuff. Be a lot of the game I wouldn't be able to show off if you do a 3-heart run. And 3 wall masters at once, this is insanity! Get out of here, give me your rubies. And we're not gonna suck this time. I'm gonna use spin attacks, because spin attacks are, of course, do more damage. And oh my god, rush attack. I always forget he can do that. Rush attack, YYZ, whatever you want to call it. Come down here, come down. God, I don't know why I'm getting my ass kicked. He's an easy boss. Because like I said, I've gone the entire game without dying, and there we go. Yeah, I guess my play style for playing it, I take a bit more damage. Heart container, yay. And we're already at the end of the first dungeon. Like I said, not a hard game, but of course we're only in the first dungeon. You got the fertile soil! An essence of nature! Seeds scattered across bountiful lands are nourished in this fertile soil. It's always silly whenever they have to break up a word because it's too long for the Game Boy box. And yeah, first special item. Hooray! And it's gonna warp us out of the dungeon because convenience. And every time you beat a dungeon, the Maku tree's gonna call you by magical leafing you. Hooah! It's me, the Maku tree! Hoo-hoo-hoo, someone took a rhyming class. Some of the fertile soil has come to me too. I already feel stronger. Oh, in my dreams I saw the Temple of Seasons in a strange land I do not know. There I saw a precious item that will aid you long. That is all I can see now. And he falls back asleep. Before we call this episode quits, there are 2 things I picked up in that dungeon that might be a bit unfamiliar to you if you've never played this game. The Gaseous Seed and the Magic Ring. Gaseous Seeds, if you remember that soil that I pointed out in the first episode that I said wouldn't be important, but darn it. Okay, before I talk about this, we're going to talk about her. This is Maple the Witch. Every time you beat 30, oh darn, some stuff went in the water. Every time you beat 30 monsters, she'll appear randomly. There's certain screens that she appears on. You bump into her, and you basically play a little game to see who can get the most items. There's no prize for winning other than the items that you picked up, but there's a bunch of neat things you can get from her, like there's a heart piece that she has that will drop randomly. So that's a thing that we're going to have to hunt her down for. And, she's actually related to the trade quest in the game, which she actually tells you about right now, the Lon Lon eggs. Little box in the right, bottom right, is where the trade items will appear once we get them. So just remember that she's important for that, because that can throw people off if you know, don't know where to go. And she starts off easy, but then gets harder. Will drop better items. She can drop some really neat items. While we're at it, let's just do this. Because the dungeon didn't take very long. Shh, don't tell! Some of the trees in the game can be burned down, and there'll be like these little old men houses. You come in here, and some of them will give you money, and some will take money for destroying their door, because that tree is definitely a door, yeah. So just be on the lookout for those. If you're a bit iffy on it, just save, and then if he takes money, just restart. That's what I do, because it's cheap. I'm in a spinny chair, and it started spinning away from the screen because I moved my leg. Back to the Gaseous Magic Ring explanation, though, before we end the episode. Gaseous Seeds, basically, there's these plots of soil, and you can plant a Gaseous Seed, and over time, the seed will grow into a tree, and in the tree will be a nut. The nut can give you random items like magic rings, secret potions. Secret potions are the equivalent to fairies in this game. When you die, they'll bring you back. Money, just random crap. And there's even a heart piece that you can get for doing that, just like the maple one. It's completely random. So we'll have to play around with that feature a bit. And for magic rings, I'll show you in 1 second after we get a piece of heart! And of course, the thing on the sidebar should be obvious what that is. Just, you know, a bit of a reminder as to how many heart pieces we have. Magic rings, whenever you get magic rings, you want to come to this building, because if you go inside, you have Vasu the Jeweler with his amazing hat. And, hey, no, talk to him. Do come in! I am Vasu the Jeweler! And, yeah, that's what he sounds like, I guess. And he's gonna basically explain rings to you. The rings give you magic powers, and each one has different effects. Like, there's ones that are like, do more damage, but you take more damage yourself. Higher defense, but do less damage. Just weird things that, you know, supplement the game. They're fun to do. So you just come here, and he will appraise the magic rings that you get, and he'll basically turn them into usable rings. You have a ring box that lets you hold, well, the level 1 one lets you hold 1 ring, and there's up to a level 3 one, which lets you hold 3 rings. You can only have 1 equipped at a time. And whenever he'll tell you this every time you talk to him, like at the end of his sentence. He'll be like, at the end of his sentence, like at the end of his speech bubble, like after you talk to him, he'll basically say, oh, you have to equip rings to use them. I'll show you that in a bit, like as soon as we're out of this thing. Yeah, you have to pay 20 rubies to get it appraised. First one's free, of course. And he'll buy rings that you already have for 30, so if you get one the same, then it's fine. And he's just gonna keep talking. Whenever you want to swap out rings, since you can only carry 1 with you... dang it, that's not what I wanted to do. See, you have to equip rings. He said, rings do nothing unless they're worn, and we don't even have a ring in our box, so we're so far away from that. Okay, let's find that discovery ring, because that was the one that we got from inside the first level. Why am I not going to the next thing? It can be a bit finicky sometimes. Hey, just go to the next one. Here we go. Discovery ring. I'll explain rings more in depth later, because each ring has a different power, of course, so I'll try and keep it clear what they do. But you have to come in here, click A, and it will equip the ring, which will allow you to use its power. I'm not going to praise the ring he gave us for the moment, maybe later, because it's basically a useless ring. The discovery ring, on the other hand, if there's soil that's hidden from us, we'll be able to find it because it'll do that little puzzle noise that's in dungeons, but it'll be on the overworld. So sorry for the bit of the extra girth on this episode after the dungeon, but I wanted to go ahead and explain those elements to the game. On the next episode, we're going to make our way to that special item that the Maku tree was telling us about. But where could it be? Find out on the next episode of Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons One Piece. Bye-bye now!